afternoon. Happy Wednesday, right? Whew, I'm just coming out of the office and I am going on an afternoon run, but I don't know. I wanted to just address, healthy relationships. I've been heavy on this week because, I have been, in a relationship for some time now, and it's my first healthy relationship that I've ever been in. And I say this because in my book, Before I Became Her, there's a lot of context regarding my past relationships. And, people have a tendency to say, oh, Tika, she's been in a lot of bad relationships and, this and that and that and that about my relationships. And you know what? I don't deny that. I don't deny that I've had poor judgment when it's come down to being in relationships in the past. And I know that doing the work on myself that I've been doing and the healing and healing intentionally, I recognize my behaviors and my patterns, when I was unhealed versus being healed now. And the things that I accepted early on in my 20s and in my 30s and my early 40s, let me explain something to you. The healed version of Tika, I will no longer accept the bare minimum in relationships. I now have standards for the type of partner I'm picking for myself. I'm intentional about who I allow in my life and in my circle. Yes, I had to heal from a lot of bad relationships, a lot of bad relationships. However, they only did what I allowed them to do to me. I always made a choice to stay. So I had to take accountability as well because I would have never been treated that way if I didn't allow it. If I had, you know, uh, if I had stopped and walked away from things that I knew weren't good for me or were potentially, going to cause me, pain and hurt, I would have walked away a long time ago, but back then I didn't have the tools and the knowledge, of course, that I have now. I didn't have the standards and the boundaries, back then that I have now. My mental health was not in a good place back then the way it is now. And I'm learning through intentionally healing. You pick the type of partner based on where you are, mentally and life. And if you're in a broken place, you're going to pick broken men. If you're unhealed, you're going to pick unhealed men. I settled for the bare minimum for so long because I didn't believe I deserved more. Like I didn't believe that I was pretty. So when I got that attention, when I got that, oh my God, he chose me, he picked me, he saw me, he noticed me, I was over the moon and I was willing to do every and anything for that attention and that validation. I didn't know that I didn't have to just settle. Um, so now I know my worth. I know that I'm a beautiful person inside and out. I know what I want out of life. I know the type of partner I want for my life. I know the standards and the boundaries that I have implemented in my life and that I live by. You will never catch me dating any type of man that I've dated in my past. Never. I will never date what I've dated before, the type of men that I've dated before. No, I'm better than that. I'm worth more than that. And I won't allow it. So just, you know, we all have made poor choices. For some reason, people talk about mine a lot more. No, but we've all made some poor choices. We've all, made decisions that we would not make today. So just heal with intention. I guess that's really what I wanted to say is be intentional with your healing. You know, it's okay to have standards. It's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to have a voice. It's okay to speak up for yourself. It's okay to be vulnerable. I love that word, vulnerability, in a healthy way. Vulnerability is not weakness, but there's a whole video, there's a whole topic coming on vulnerability. But again, you know, just addressing, you know, healing through trauma and toxic relationships. For me, I had to heal from the inside out. And because I've given myself that time to heal and to really, really dig deep and recognize what was causing me pain at the root and at the cause, it's allowed me to change how I date and how I show up in relationships, because I know I had toxic traits too. I know I was toxic and I think that's important, you know, and admitting is when, you know, you yourself are toxic. So here's to healing, you know, the broken parts of yourself. Heal so you don't bleed on others. And yeah, it's okay to start over. It's okay to still believe in love, you know. So keep it coming. And this is where my story becomes your breakthrough. And I hope you have an amazing Wednesday. Until next time.
God said, watch this. Then it flip quick. Doors start opening, I ain't even knocking. God said, watch this. Now they